So about 2,000 years ago lived two people. Their names were Mary and Joseph. They were betrothed to be married. And Mary found out that she was pregnant with a baby that was special beyond others. He was the child that was promised to Eve that would crush the head of the serpent. He was the promised child to David, who would be the son of David, who would build a kingdom that would last forever, the ones all the prophets foretold. When it came time for the baby to be born, he was born Messiah, and it was not a glorious event. It was small and in a barn. Now that's not the focus of what's going on. The focus this time of year is around what Jesus did and what his purpose was this time of year. Now, many people will tell you about the miracles he did or what he did while he lived, but not many people explain what really happens when he died and the spirituality of it. The Gospels explain a lot about this, so there's a lot we can dive into. Now, some people say it started at the triumphal entry. The Holy Week began there with Palm Sunday. But I say it truly started during the Last Supper, when Jesus told all of his followers that they would all flee. And he told Peter, one of his most devoted followers, that he would deny him. And Peter said no. He swore that he would not betray Jesus. All the other disciples swore it. But there was one disciple who was different from the others. He knew what he was doing, and he betrayed Jesus. His name was Judas Iscariot. Judas left the upper room before the Last Supper ended, and Jesus knew what he was going to do. Around the time they went to Gethsemane, Jesus was praying. He was praying that the cup of suffering would be taken away from him, because he knew what he was going into, and he knew who he was doing it for. But when he prayed, he remembered who he was doing it for you, and for me, and for all the billions of people around this earth. He knew what he was getting into. So willingly, when the people came to arrest him, he gave himself up. Now some of the disciples tried to fight back, including Peter. But Jesus, he did not hesitate, and he healed the ear that Peter cut off. Imagine that, healing someone who was leading the arrest. That takes guts. Now, after that, they took him towards 5 trials. One by Caiaphas' father, Annas, one by Caiaphas, one by Pilate, one by Herod, and another by Pilate. All 5 trials proved his innocence. But what really happened? During the trial with Annas, he was proved innocent, but they kept going. During the trial with Caiaphas, he was still innocent, but this time the Pharisees beat him and mocked him. During the first trial with Pilate, Pilate didn't want to deal with it, so he sent him to Herod, where he was questioned and mocked by the soldiers. And then when he finally got to Pilate again, Pilate knew he was innocent in his heart. His wife even told him not to touch and mess with this man. Pilate knew what he was doing was more than just human. It was something spiritual that even he couldn't understand. But yet, he still ordered it. He washed his hands, declaring himself guilty even though he knew he was guilty. He thought he was innocent, but he was not. He let Jesus be taken away. Whipped 39 lashes. Every lash he thought of you. When the time came for him to carry his cross, he looked at the people who once welcomed him as their king and now proclaimed, "Crucify him." And he looked down. Then he looked up and said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do." They nailed him to that cross, and he hung there for cruel hours. At the 12th hour, the sky darkened until the 3rd hour. And during those hours, he had final phrases, 7 to be exact. The most heart-wrenching and gut-pouring of them. My God, why have you forsaken me? The same cry David once said when he was running away. The same cry the prophets had heard. Reenacted in this one cruel, messy scene. And with his last breath, he said, "Receive my spirit." And with that, he breathed his last, and he died. That cross, there was more to it than just the death and the pain. There was a spiritual side of it. Jesus was battling the devil on that cross. He was battling all evil. Every drop of blood, every single lash that he took, he thought of it because he thought about what it would do for you and for everyone around the world. Whenever you feel like there's something bad that you want to do, when you want to sin or don't feel convicted enough, remember, every drop of blood means your salvation was bought. Just like Jonah, he was forsaken for 3 days, but he didn't stay that way.